Oh, wait 1 minute. Wait 1 more minute and then we'll get started.
Maria. Oh,
That's great.
so nice to see you.
Oh, me too. Very nice. Oh, you're in the lab right now.
Yeah, I just finished my class. I'm so happy there. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I missed the lab so much.
Thank you for being able to present
Oh,
today. Yeah.
it's an honor for me. It's a real honor for me.
Okay, I'm leave you the time for Adrian and you.
That was great. All right, we'll get started now. Thank you everyone for joining in. Just let you know this will be recorded and will be posted on the CALS International Programs website, so you can refer back to it and share it with your colleagues if you wish. We're also broadcasting live on our Facebook page. I am Adrienne Tucker, the Assistant Director of CALS International Programs. In CALS International Programs, we work directly with our faculty, staff, and students within the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences to connect them with international opportunities. We partner with CALS SAIGE to offer these international seminars. And CALS SAIGE is a student association for international and global engagement for all of our students in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences here at NC State. So CALS SAIGE has been offering these monthly international seminars going on 5 semesters now. But this is the first one we're doing by Zoom, and utilizing the advantages that we have of Zoom, we're able to connect with an international researcher outside of the US this time. And so today I'm very happy to welcome Dr. Maria-Elena Cazar back to NC State. Dr. Cazar is from the Universidad de Cuenca in Ecuador, where she is the director of the Orchids Greenhouse and is head of the Biotechnology and Biodiversity Group. And as I said, I wanted to mention her back, as did Dr. Sia, because she did, this time last year it was, that she was on NC State's campus starting her USDA Foreign Ag Service Borlaug Fellowship, where she stayed for 3 months and conducted research in Dr. De Ucia's lab in the Department of Plant and Microbial Biology, and where she focused on the characterization of bioactive secondary metabolites from Ecuadorian cacao. So international research and collaboration is not foreign to Dr. Cazar, as she attained her PhD from Chile and has traveled and collaborated with universities also in Germany, the Netherlands, and of course the US. If you have any questions for Dr. Cazar, you can place them in the chat and we'll go over them at the end of the seminar. And from here, I'll turn it over to Dr. Cazar to further explain her international research achievements and collaborations that I'm sure we can all learn from. So Dr. Cazar, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Adrienne, for such a wonderful presentation. I'm so happy and honored to be here with you this afternoon, and I will share a couple of experiences and also my vision about international collaboration. How important is having networks? How important is having common research between different parts of the world, because we are focused in very common problems, and the results of sharing, the results of reciprocity is always good and positive. So for starting this dialogue, I would like to share with you some concepts that many of you are familiar, but it's good to start to recall the meaning of the words. That's important because it places the situation in a frame. We use the word university very often, obviously, because we belong to this institution, but it's very important to think again what university means. University has several roots. If we search for the Anglo-French roots, university means universality. So it refers to an academic community. And the root that the roots that gives the origin to the other languages like Spanish, German, Russian, etc., is the Latin universitas, that means the whole, the universe. So it's great that we are part of this institution that was born from an important priority for all the civilizations. All of us have in common this priority, the transmission of knowledge. So it is a necessity of the societies to improve together with sharing of knowledge. So all of us, if someone asks a person which is the origin of the university, maybe most of the people will have in mind that Greece is the origin of the university, because obviously the Western civilization recognized the spaces created in the ancient cities of Greece called polis, spaces where people used to share knowledge, the philosophers and also people with some skills they used to discuss about important questions. For instance, for chemistry, the atom was a philosophical question that started with a philosophical discussion, but obviously this concept is the one that started the characterization of matter. So it's very important for us in chemistry. But in Greece, there were special spaces called agora, the gymnasium, and academia, where people used to gather knowledge with experienced scholars like philosophers. After many centuries, the convents gathered this knowledge. And obviously because of the civilization of that time, the convents gathered and take like the knowledge in the convents. They didn't share with the rest. Some translators from other civilizations, they make a big effort to have registers of this ancient knowledge. But there's a very important point here. Sometimes we don't recognize the very important contribution of the Eastern civilization for the foundations of the university. The Imperial University in China was founded in 124 years before Christ. So it's a very interesting example, because this university exists at the moment. It's the University of Peking. So the original was in that time, but with the British influence, they became a university with all the organization. But for me, it's great to remark this characteristic of the university in Eastern civilization. So, and also the law school of Constantinople describes the Justinian Code, that is the basis of a lot of law systems in the world. So we have these important foundations, and then we can recognize the birth of the university in Italy. The oldest university recognized is the University of Bologna as an institution with a proper organization. It was in the 12th century. Because the knowledge gathered in the convents migrated to the cathedrals. So in France, for instance, the professors came to give lessons in the cathedrals, and that's why we have universities that were founded with the names of the cathedrals at that time. And the University of Bologna was an institution that recognized the role of students, the role of the academics, And if you want to see the details of this painting, it is a lesson from Enricus de Alemania. He came to Bologna to teach ethics. And it's a very interesting painting because, as you can see, the professor is dressed as an Arabic. It's because the ethics from Aristotle was translated by Arabics. So it was the custom that the professor used to dress like this. And if you see the students, you can see some familiar scenes. These guys over here are chattering. This one, I think, is asleep. So yeah, it's like a Zoom class now, just a joke. But yeah, we see this is a representation of a lecture in Bologna. A very interesting detail of Bologna as a university that is this that I wanted to share with you. Bologna has a students' organizations. In the 12th century, that's very important. They had associations among students that were called consortia. When a professor was associated with students, it was called comitiva, so can be a research group of our time. And that's also a very important remark. The students who belong to the same region, they called nations. They were called naciones. So that's the beginning or the origin of the university. It was because students from other regions came to Bologna. Students from Germany, students from France, from Normandy, they came and were gathered in these organizations. So the university at the end was an association of foreign students because they had the right to the peregrinación académica. They have the freedom of establishing in every university for reason of study. So, on my opinion, this is the foundation of mobility, of international collaboration. So it is not new. We have this activity from the beginning of the university. So that's very important to highlight because we as an institution are having the same activities, obviously with very different scenarios at the current moment, but we need to maintain the international collaboration because it's the way that universities grow. So, well, after this introduction, I would like to change the subject to my journey. Well, this is one of my first photos, and I think in this photo I'm like 6 months old. So you can do the math about my age. It's not a problem because now it's not a problem for asking the age of a woman, but the weight of a woman. That's a tricky question. It's another of my jokes. But well, I would like to share with you 2 important facts of my childhood. My mother, she used to work as a school teacher at the beginning, but she always worked in different tasks. But when I was like 6 years old, she decided to go to the university because she wanted to change her job. It was not a common decision for a woman. She was married, she had 5 kids at that time, but she decided to study it, and the best thing, she decided to study chemistry, for being a chemistry teacher. So I remember when I was like this age, like 6 years old, she was studying, she was working in a high school, she was in charge of a lab, so she used to take me to the lab because she was not, she didn't have help at home, you know, and she wanted me to be with her. So I saw the labware, the glassware, and it was like me, wow, it was beautiful. And I always dreamed of having something like this for me. It was like a beautiful dream for me. And another important thing I wanted to share with you, I studied in a normal school in Riobamba, in a little city from Ecuador, a country that is in South America. But fortunately, when I started my first year in the university, I had a US teacher for English. So that was great for me. Now I think, wow, that's a really, really great coincidence. He was from the Peace Corps He's Mr. Turner. I don't remember his name. I always call him Mr. Turner. And I remember the classes he used to give us. He didn't speak with us Spanish. He just was speaking all the time in English, and he loved to play with us. He loved to sing and to make dialogues. And I didn't understand a word. I just was repeating all the games from Mr. Turner. But at the end, I started to learn English. So I'm really grateful for this. My first English teacher, because when I was 10, I was not embarrassed to speak in English at all. So that was a good thing for me, because speaking a foreign language, that's important for having some goals academically. So I will skip all the part of the high school, and when you are a teenager, that's not nice. Well, it was, but no, not too good to recall. So we have now, I studied in a high school in Riobamba, and I studied in my university also in Riobamba. So because, well, we are in Ecuador, it was for some families decided to send the kids to other cities. Some families were more conservative. They say, no, it's better for you, safer for you to study in your own city. And my family was a bit conservative. So unfortunately, in this university and Escuela Superior Politécnica del Chimborazo, it's a long name. So in this university, we have chemistry as a Bachelor of Science. So some people will recall that in the first part of this presentation, we talked about the French universities. The French university has this structure called École Polytechnique. That's why we have this Escuela Politécnica in Ecuador. These universities are specialized in science. They don't have humanities. They are devoted to science and technology. So it was a good university, and the very important thing of this university is at that time they had a cooperation program with the Italian government and with a special organizations called Cooperación Internacional. It was a non-governmental organization, but also the Italian government was involved at that time, and they provided us exchange opportunities. The academics from Italy came to this little university in South America as volunteers for teaching, for giving special courses, and the good thing was there were not many students in my career. That was good. Well, the career was a bit difficult, so we were not big groups. So we had very, very nice seminars with Italian professors. I remember I enjoyed very much these experiences because we were able to learn special subjects that sometimes you don't learn during the BS, like spectroscopy, nuclear magnetic resonance, special subjects that were interesting, and they were motivate me to follow my career in natural products research. Well, at the end of this of your career, if in the frame of this cooperation, there were opportunities of exchange, but guess what? I didn't have that opportunity. My two brothers and one sister of mine, that they studied also in the same university, they traveled to Italy. But well, when I finished the university, because then you could apply to these exchange programs, the program was, there were no more funds for exchange. Well, that happens, but the important thing was I was very motivated to go abroad, to try to find an opportunity. And at that time, it was not easy in Ecuador. We didn't have that much funds for scholarship. You have to search, and I started that part of my my journey. I wanted an opportunity to go abroad. It was not easy. I tried in Spain and it was not successful, my application. I tried also the Fulbright scholarship programs for the US. At that time, I was not successful, but the third is the charm. And at the third time, I earned a scholarship for doing a PhD in Chile. So it is not in Santiago, or when you heard about Chile, you heard about the big city, the capital. Santiago is a beautiful and cosmopolitan city. But Talca, it's a little city in the region from the wine comes. So it's called the Maule region. So this region is very important because the agriculture is the main economic activity. They have the vineyards and the wine is great. It's very, very good. So the university is also very good. Let's highlight the university, not the wine. The university is a young university. I think currently they have like 35 years of existence, and they invest the funds in research. They have very, very high expectations and high achievements in research. That's why they have these PhD programs. And I was the first cohort of PhDs of natural products research. So that was good because obviously we started like a group of five, like a little group. We started as a little group, 5 students, and we had some opportunities for going abroad. But the opportunity I had was very unique because as I told you before, I had that strength that I was able to speak English in a decent way. So my advisor, he had a cooperation with Germany, and they needed a person who was able to be independent for doing research in Germany. Obviously, I don't speak German, but English is a great way to to work in international teams. So I had the opportunity to, in 2002, I visited the Institute for Biotechnology and Drug Research in the Technical University of Kaiserslautern in Germany. So this institute is very famous. I hope in the audience will be, maybe there are some students from agricultural sciences, and they will recognize these products. We have strobilurin, a molecule synthesized from a fungus, from a Basidium mycete. So this molecule was isolated from the 2 professors that founded this group. It was the perfect marriage. They were Tim and Heidrun Anke. Tim Anke was a chemist, and Heidrun Anke was a microbiologist. So this is the result of their marriage. They studied fungi and they fermented the fungi. They were able to isolate this molecule, and this molecule has a special power, a selective activity for a fungal activity. They kill pathogen fungi. And but the problem of this molecule was this molecule was not stable under the sunlight, so it was not useful for applying in the field, and that's why the very important industry of chemical BASF, they did this analog molecule cresosimethyl based on the structure of the natural product. So this was the first success of the group, and BASF patented the molecule, and they gave many money for this group for researching. They wanted more products like this. So this group had a very big strain collection. They had a lot of fungi from all over the world. They used to take them in different features for being pure. Then they did fermentations with liquid and solid cultures, and then they isolated the compounds. They started to test not just antifungal activity, but other activities for developing agricultural products and also pharmaceutical products. So I was so lucky to be there. I spent 2 months, and I brought my samples from Chile, and I did part of my research in this institute. I was mesmerized about the way and the resources they have. that is very, very impressive and very different from the way we work in South America. Well, after the years that you have to spend doing the PhD and with this important experience, I finished and I decided to come back to Ecuador. It was, I can remember my professors said, oh, why don't you stay a bit longer? Why don't you search for a job here? But I said, no, I want to go back and try to do the same like you do here in my country. So I decided to come back and I went to, first I started to work in Universidad de la SAIGE. This is a private university, and I started a new research group. And always my interest was searching for bioactivity of plants and fungi. This is an old, it was a newspaper, yes, old, it's from 2007. This is the most important newspaper in Ecuador. It's called El Comercio, and they find my job interesting, so they gave a space for me. I gave an interview, and well, also, I work with the students and the indigenous communities, and I was able to win a couple of grants for my lab. So I was happy with this situation. And also in between, I had another opportunity to do research abroad. This is a very interesting organization. It's called the Coimbra Group. It gathers the oldest universities in the world. So there are 39 European universities, obviously the oldest are over there. And the aim of this group is promoting exchange between Latin American and European researchers. I was searching in the mail and I found this opportunity and I found it interesting. But it has an important detail. The applicant must have the contact of an academic for the supervising. If you want to apply, you need to search in the list and see if you have a contact in the universities that are in this group. So I was also lucky because the professor Robert Port, he came to Chile when I was doing my PhD. He came to evaluate our program because as I told you, it was a new program. And also because I was able to speak in English, I talked to him and he was very, very nice, a very nice person. And I saw these scholarships and I wrote to him. And I expected, since professors are very busy, maybe he will write next week, he will write me back. But no, he wrote me back very, very quickly. And he was so supportive. And also I had this wonderful opportunity to spend 3 months in Leiden University. This is one of the oldest universities in the world. And I was also lucky to work with Dr. Report because he's a leading scientist in natural products and very good on NMR. So I was able to analyze some samples that I had left from my PhD. And yet I went home again. And a few years later, I had the opportunity to apply for another job. I decided to change jobs and I went to Universidad de Cuenca. Universidad de Cuenca is the second oldest university in Ecuador. It has more than 150 years. And that's a very important fact because since this is a very traditional and old university, it has all the areas of knowledge. We have humanities, we have arts, we have also science, in engineering, architecture. So it is a very complete university, and the university fosters a collaboration with the international institution. So the academics that work here, we have a good support for these opportunities. And well, in my years in Chile, in Talca, in Universidad de Talca, they also had good networks with Germany. That's why they have the contact that I took advantage for going to Kaiserslautern. And also German students used to come to visit Universidad de Talca. And one of those students She was a good friend at that time, and we maintained the friendship. We were all the time exchanging email and daydreaming. Oh, maybe we will find a way of working together. That was always our dream, and the dream became true. We applied with Susanne Menzel, is the name of my colleague from Universidad de Osnabrück. We applied from funds for international exchange. And that was a great, great opportunity, because it's not, for me, internalization is not just the opportunity of going to other place, but also is a bridge that you have to build for people to come to your country and doing a proper exchange. So we won a grant for a program that lasted 4 years, from 2015 to 2019. At the beginning of 2019, we finished. And the core activities were the summer school focused on biodiversity. The first summer school was in Osnabrück University. We have to organize everything with the German team and the Ecuadorian team. And we had funds to support 9 students and 3 academics from Universidad de Cuenca to go to Germany. So from some of the students of Universidad de Cuenca, it was their first trip abroad. So it was a great experience for changing their way of seeing the world. And also for the academics, it was a great opportunity, to know people from other university, to share problems, and maybe to find common points from research. Well, that was for us from the Ecuadorian team was great. We went there, we did all the activities, the labs, and that was beautiful. But in 2017, we had the way back, and now I was in charge of the organization. And the detail of working in international collaboration is that you have to be at the same level. That's, for me, a key point. You don't want to be the one that is, oh, I cannot do this because I'm in a poor country. No. You have to try to solve the problems, to do like they do the things. So that's my motivation, and I had the same program. I had Ecuadorian students and 5 German students, also 5 professors from Osnabrück University. They came to Ecuador for 21 days. So it was a great experience, a big responsibility, because you have to take care good of your guests and you have to offer a good program. For instance, here we are in the Páramo. It's a very unique ecosystems. It's in the highlands, and it has a beautiful and a lot of biodiversity. We had also practical work. Sometimes doing practical work with the special regions and with the special equipments is not that easy for us, because we need to import some regions, and it takes time. But we managed to skip all the difficulties. And I placed these photos. This is my colleague Susanne Menzel, and this is Knut Jares, also an organizer of the event. And I just wanted to notice that I'm too short for them, they are always told I have a neck headache when I'm with them. No, they are very great guys, so I like them so much. So, and for, as I told you, it was the beginning of 2019, this program finished, and then I had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I was again thinking, what would be my next step? I always believe that research and collaboration needs to, we need in Ecuador more opportunities to see how things are working or are being developing in other countries. And I found this beautiful program, the Borlaug fellowships, and I will confess to you, it was like 15 days before the end of the application, and I decided to apply. I ran for, because you need some documentations from your work, recommendation letters, and you have to write also a research proposal. And I managed to upload the documents in the platform the very last day, on December 31st, I remember. I did it the very last day of the call. So I was not that optimistic. I said, well, I did things in a rush, and I don't like to do the things like this, but I didn't know the program in advance. And also I was a bit worried about, I'm not getting any younger. Maybe you did the math and you know that I'm not that young. But well, I said, let's hope for the best. So I applied, and then it was on, as I told you, in December 2018 was the application. Then in more or less in March, they called me and they said, you have to do an interview. And I was a bit nervous. I think I was rusty with my English, like right now. And I said, oh, I did a very bad impression because my English was not so good. But then on August, as you can see, on August the 2nd, this beautiful letter came to my mail. And then I remember the title of this is not the correct title of the movie, but it's my title. The postman doesn't not call twice, so I'd say, okay, I have to go. And I was so happy because it was not the same situation as the Coimbra scholarship. This program searched the institution for you, and I was so lucky that the Borlaug Fellowship Program identified North Carolina State University as my venue for my fellowship, and Dr. de UCA as my mentor. So it was so great. I had, I was, it's 1 year already. In September the 25th, I think, the 25th, I think I arrived to Raleigh, and Adrienne Tucker was waiting for me. I will never thank enough Adrienne for the good care she took from me. And obviously, Dr. de UCA is the great mentor ever. And we had a great time working together, and also having great experience, like participating in the World Food Prize. That was for me a very important and very impressive event, when you could see you could testify the great contribution that Norman Borlaug did to the world. That's that for me, it was a great motivation, because science can solve very important problems of mankind, and we have to work hard for having for results that can be applied in the field, that can be applied for having contributing for better lives of the people. So yes, I was working at Dr. de UCA's lab for 3 months. I made new friends. I have very fond memories with the UCA's group. I remember Rika, I think she used to be graduated, but this time, and all the guys, Yue, and they were very kind with me. They helped me a lot. And I analyzed it, as Adrienne said, cacao samples from Ecuador. And I was very happy because I could have a great training in MS spectroscopy. I had the theoretical background that some years ago, and I have the opportunity of working directly with the equipment and analyzing the results. That's wonderful, and it improved a lot my teaching skills, and also now I have new perspectives for research. That's also an important resource from the experience in NC State University. So, in spite of the distance, and in spite of this situation that we are facing around the world, Dr. de UCA and I are still in contact. And now Dr. de UCA is so kind and he's so generous with me, and he will participate in the 8th Latin American Congress of Medicinal Plants that we will hold online this time. I'm part of the Latin American Medicinal Plant Society, so we asked Dr. de Jussier to be one of the keynote speakers. So we are very happy and honored to have you in our Congress, Dr. Deyu. You will be the speaker for the closing ceremony. So we are really, really happy that you were so kind to be with us, and we will be together in October the 17th for this activity. Well, gathering all the information that I gave you, and so far, I can say I would like to share some thoughts with you. As we started, as we review it in the beginning of the presentation, universities are a very unique institution, and during the whole university history, we faced 7 pandemics, including the COVID-19 pandemic. So despite of this difficult situation, despite of the wars, despite of everything, the university keeps growing because the society needs the university for generating knowledge. And the aim of the university is producing knowledge, appraising and evaluating the knowledge by means of research and teaching. Obviously, in this important scenario, internationalization is a two-way bridge. We have to always give back what we receive. If a country like Ecuador has some opportunities for going abroad, we need to build a bridge for keeping this contact moving. That's important because then we can have new ideas, new challenges, and new perspective for developed science and cooperation. And reciprocity is a key element for exchange. We need to give back what we receive. That's very, very important. So I always think that another world is possible if we share, if we are together solving problems and sharing knowledge, sharing experience, and sharing life. If we have this world that is shown here when the worlds are together, then we will have a better society. This is my contact. If someone wants to contact me for another questions, etc., this is my email if you need it. And at the end, I would like to invite you, when the time will be better, to Cuenca, a very, very beautiful city in the Ecuadorian Andes. We are recognized as one of the best cities for short vacations in South America. So we are very, very much invited. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will be ready for the questions you have for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. That was really great. I really appreciated your perspective on a lot. If anyone has questions, you can either unmute yourself and ask, or you can put them in the chat box. I see some people in. Go ahead, Jose.
Hola,
Hi,
Maria.
Jose. Hola. Great to see you.
Good to see you as well. So I have a question for you. Based on your experience knowing NC State, having the opportunity to talk with some faculty and see a little bit of the campus and the different type of activities we do, where do you see the opportunities for us to collaborate with your university in Ecuador?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you, Jose. Well, I was so impressed with the strength you have in agricultural sciences. And you know, Jose, Ecuador is an agricultural country. We have all the possibilities to develop cultures of importance, of economical importance. We have cacao, we have fruits in the Andes, we have other climatic conditions that allows us to have good agriculture, but we don't have, it's incredible, but I will tell you, the agricultural science schools in Ecuadorian University are not enough, on my opinion. We are not producing enough agricultural science professionals and scientists. So we really, really need to give strength to this important knowledge and technique. So I saw this as a very, very good point for collaboration. Also, in chemistry, because you have borderline research. For instance, in the plant and microbial biology department, I was very impressed on the way that you use very high throughput techniques like mass spectroscopy, for instance, mass spectrometry, I'm sorry, for solving problems regarding to fungal populations, also focused in solving agronomical research questions. And you know, Jose, we have these equipments here as well, because some universities bought equipments, but they are not use it as its full capacity. So I think this would be a great, great way of collaboration. For the first one, and I think give strength to our agricultural science schools with your experience and the beautiful way that NC State relates to the community. The way that you produce knowledge for solving problems of the industry, problems of the community, that's another feature that impressed me very much. And also with this borderline science that are between chemistry and biology, that is also a very important field of collaboration, on my humble opinion.
Excellent. Just one comment, and then I will shut up. So you know, that's when you talk about equipment and labs, that's a good opportunity for our faculty, but it's also a good opportunity for our grad students, our PhD students, because they are well trained in the use of those equipment. So they might have an opportunity to do an international experience. So
yeah.
say, if you're hearing about this, so think about this opportunity that might come to go to Ecuador and do some training.
Great, that will be so great. Thank you, Jose, and we will be so glad to have you here.
We have one question that says, can you speak of any opportunities such as programs, organizations? Do you have any that are geared towards connecting any graduate students at your institution?
Yeah, that's another great question too. We have the international office in Universidad de Cuenca, and we have several programs for studying in Universidad de Cuenca for international students. If you know, we need obviously to do some paperwork, but the students from US used to come to my university for having special courses and Spanish. That's also a good opportunity for you, because you can have a specialized Spanish course and also some lectures or programs that can represent credits for you, and then you will make the credits valid in your university. So yeah, I recall students from, I think, Nuevo Mexico and Arizona State University. I think they came from this program. So we developed the program like for the necessities of the students, and the Spanish is in the list. So you can practice also your Spanish. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'll get those opportunities from you to share with our students as well. And
definitely.
We do share some things on our website and any opportunities that come out. So that would be wonderful, since we already have the connection there.
Yeah, count on me.
Hey, Maria, wonderful talk. Thank you so much. So I'm so happy to see you. I was very excited. I cannot wait. After my class, I just, okay, ask my student to end our class and to join you. I was
Oh,
so happy that I was not late. Um, yeah, it's good. As I just said, so glad to see you and your family is safe over there. Um, I think the thing is we discussed here so many times. You have the collaboration with Germany was wonderful. As we talked before, we can do the same thing. Maybe we can do better, you know.
oh,
And
yeah.
here, relatively easy for here to fly to Ecuador than from Germany. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's definitely we can talk about something. We can start with small one. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we can, your student said to here, we may ask Adrian to help us find a funding opportunities, bring a student here, and we can continue to work on that, particularly for cacao.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you talk to anybody on your campus or your state or local officers about the cacao stuff?
Yeah. Well, Dr. Day, when I went back, I talked to my dean because, as I told you, we have similar equipment in my
Mm,
faculty, and they offered me to, they said whenever you like, you can use the equipment. And I also spoke with the president of my university, Dr. Pablo Vanegas, about this program. So, well, what happened on March, all the things are now a bit slow, but we have the interest. Even Adrian was in contact with the officer of the international office of our university, so we are working in a cooperation convenio for having, it's like a formality. Then you have the legal document, let's say in that way, for exchanges and for collaboration. But we have the starting point, and we need to keep working.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, we are I mean, unfortunately because of pandemic, otherwise I was supposed to be to visit you.
Yeah.
But we're
But
still planning. I'm still planning. We're not finished until next year.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Well,
let's
in
keep in touch and continue.
sure.
That I think you did a great job. I mean, a wonderful job. I mean, to bridge in the after you left, we continue communicate each other and
Yes.
definitely is good opportunities. Let's start with something and build a bridge between your university and NC State. And
Okay.
it's not difficult for us to fly into your place though, you know.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
so it's really uh, working from the institution perspective and from my lab, your lab perspective. Possibly we can asking your original collaboration with European. We discuss about it. We can make a triangle
Triangle, yeah.
and yeah, triangle those kind of trini
Uh-huh.
and look for the opportunity. And SF is another opportunity though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can uh, build some training program
Uh-huh.
to do this. And I have been looking for the opportunities, uh, any opportunity NSF trying to create for
Oh.
to help some collaboration between the United States, or no, not America and South Africa, America. And I have not seen that, but keep looking. I will keep looking too.
I will be looking for opportunities too. We will see, because here we have well, not they are a bit modest, but we have some funds. But yeah, we have the most important thing, that is the bridge that is at the moment working.
Good.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Dr. Day. It's great
Thank
to see.
you.
Anyone else have questions? I do have one question I wanted to ask. based on your international travels and your collaborations, I know you deal with students on your campus. How has your experiences changed the way that you approach teaching and mentorship for students?
Oh, you know, Adrian, international experience are they change minds. They give you a different perspective. For instance, I will tell you an anecdote. When I was in Universidad de la SAIGE, I remember I was just finishing I finished my PhD. I went to work there, and I still have a good contacts with and I have it currently with my professors in Chile. And as Dr. Dayu said, sometimes you have to see your funds if you cannot spend a lot of money in travel tickets. And it was for me convenient to have them in my lab. So I invited a couple of my former professors of my PhD program to give lectures, and we did a little seminar. And it was a girl in this seminar. And this girl was studying food science, but she was not convinced in the way of conducting her research. She didn't like, producing food. She was not motivated with that. And after this seminar, she came to me and she said, Dr. Cazar, you know, I confess, I don't like preparing food like the way that they are teaching us. I would like to do research. And I said, okay, come to me and let's think about some ideas. And she started to work in my lab. The international experience gave me the perspective that a lab is a place where everybody's welcome. So I don't have like the rigid rules so that some people have that, no, since this is my lab, I would like some people to not touch this or that. Sometimes we see this behavior, and I want the people to be happy in my life, in my lab, I'm sorry, and to work and develop their ideas. This girl, the special girl I told you, she finished the BS research, and then she wanted to do a master's. I gave her some hints. She went to Quito, she did a master's, and then she applied for a PhD. She went to Brazil. And even it's a similar story. When she was in Brazil, she had the opportunity to go to the US for a scientific stay. And now she's working in Ecuador. She came back, and she's a very productive scientist. And her name is Linda Guaman, and she's very recognized because she's also a voice of young women. So it's important because, it's like if I didn't have this context, if I didn't bring a couple of people from other countries to share different views, the students, they lose a bit of motivation. They think, okay, we are doing the same and let's be on the safe side. No, I think we need to bring new experience and to share. That's the word that I love, to make people get involved and share knowledge, share spaces, and share experience.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that story. Sometimes it seems that, whenever you're traveling internationally, doing research internationally, it seems just for you, but you see the domino effect with your example that it really has an effect on other people and how you relate to them, and it's really not a selfish thing. So that's right. And I'm sure your student was really thankful for your experiences to allow her to have those experiences as well.
No, as I told you, Adrian, for me, being in NC State University, it was, as I told in the presentation, once in a lifetime experience. I always say that it was great for me. Even I know maybe I was a bit older than the age of the Bordeaux Fellows, but I'm young in my heart. So I took the advantage of the experience, and it was great, really, really great. I will never thank you enough to all the staff of NC State. Jose Cisneros also, such a great support, and you girls, Dr. Dayu. Great, thank you. Gracias again.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. Once it's safe for everyone to travel, but you're welcome back anytime. And I appreciate your time. And I don't see any more questions, but we'll wrap it up here. And again, thank you very much for having our first CalSAIGE International Zoom seminar.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
See you October 17th.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Take
You
care.
too.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gracias.
You too.